Hi, this is Nancy Critcher-White, and today I'm going to be doing an ideal client customer segmentation for my entrepreneurial marketing class, 645 at Western Carolina University. And I'm going to be doing that ideal client customer segmentation for my husband's business. He is an independent author. So a little about what he does. A.D. White, author and indie publisher, is a novelist in North Carolina. He currently lives in Asheville. He's had some success as a ghostwriter, and he wanted to introduce Asheville Hustle, which is an urban fantasy genre book series in his own name. And he just published last week, so June 30th. The basis that we're going to use for segmentation are several things, so geographic, demographic, psychographic, and behavioralistic. And there's some examples of that you can see under each of those categories. So there are three main segments and that of our customers, and they are ebook readers, paperback readers, and our Western North Carolina buy local kind of art supporters, folks who support local art and literature. For the first two segments, there is an assumption based on some market data that for ebook readers and paperback readers, they are consuming probably 10 or more fiction novels per year. For the WNC buy local folks, purchasing the book will be more of a novelty or something fun to support local. So in our first segment, we have our urban fantasy e-readers, so people who are purchasing off of Amazon, a Kindle edition. 90% are coming from the national market, or about 10% from an international market. In fact, even since last Saturday, we've had a couple of orders from Iceland. Approximately 70% of the readers in this genre are female, 30% male, an income large enough to where they are purchasing ebooks. Most of the ebooks in this genre are around 99 cents on different specials to around $5. This customer is an avid reader, again, consuming more than 10 novels per year. The urban fantasy is their preference for some escapism and pleasure reading. And folks in this category, as far as positioning our books, they love a good series. So we want to get people hooked on the first book and then hope they buy more. It was really hard to find how many customers there were in this genre. So if all else fails, follow the money, right? So I was able to find some data where science fiction and fantasy for 2017 was in the top 4 categories for ebook subgenres. So I took the units sold and divided by 10 books per reader and was able to come up to about 2 million customers in this group. So that's my fuzzy math, but I think it's a pretty good way to get it, what we're looking for. Some tactics for these folks, it's really, utilizing our Amazon ads appropriately. Last semester, I was able to do some segmentation work as well, and was really able to divide up by what tactic and how many people we were going to reach, what our biggest bang for our buck was going to be. And Amazon ads are a great way to stay contacted with our ebook readers, because Amazon really helps you find that appropriate market for you. And then in certain agreements, your ebook can be considered for inclusion in the Kindle Unlimited, so that can help you as well. So our second population is our urban fantasy paperback book readers. They are going to order a paperback book, print-on-demand book from Amazon. Same mix here, so 90% national market, 10% at international. Mostly female for these folks as well. A 70-30 split for male versus female. Again, needing enough money to have kind of some discretionary spending, but this genre isn't very expensive either, so selling for around $8. A little older group here, so 30 to 70 is what we're looking at for age. The reason is these are avid readers who may have a preference towards a paperback book for a nostalgic reason, or because they have limited access to technology during some parts of their day. So if they're taking a book to work, they're reading it for escapism and wanting to have that paperback book where they pass it on to somebody that they love or sell it at the used bookstore. Readers who prefer paperback books tend to read quite a bit, and they love to, again, read a series, much like the ebook readers. So it was hard to find this customer population number as well, so I was not able to find the same exact data for this group as I did for our ebook readers. And since the subgenre didn't make the top 10 list for the printed book sales, I used the indie self-published printed. So I did find the total of printed units sold in 2017, and I know that 4.7% of those were in the indie self-published category. So when you take the units and divide them by the same assumption of 10 books per customer, it's about 878,000 potential customers in this group. Some tactics for our paperback book readers are staying engaged with them via social media, offering contests. You can see there in the middle, there's an Instagram post about a book party coming up. There's a fan photo that was posted to the Critcher-White Facebook page where Donna had received her book and posted it when she got it in the mail. And then attending cons. So the first one is a Comic-Con that you see there. That's in South Carolina. They have, as part of their Comic-Con, something called Artist Alley, where you pay a couple $100 and you can set up and do book signings all weekend of the Comic-Con for people who love that fantasy genre. The second one you see there is LibertyCon. It's kind of unique in the market because it is for science fiction literature and is a con that they have in Tennessee annually. So that's for next year. They just had theirs for this year. Our last segment is our WNC Buy Local enthusiasts. They'll be buying the paperback book, and they'll be local and regional to the market. This was a little easier to track down on how many people are really in that market. I calculated based on Facebook marketing tools and came up with 170,000 people in the female and male ages 20 to 50 range. This income is a little higher, so 60,000 or more, because they're definitely folks who have some money to go out and support local art, and they love to support the local economy, local artists and talents. Committed to supporting their community. This customer will buy it because they're attracted to the geographical setting of the book, or they recognize people or places that are mentioned in the book. And these customers enjoy attending the book signings and events as a social outing, so they feel compelled to support the author while they're there for that particular signing. And the positioning for this is that buy local. Local option is A.D. White, so really gaining interest from this segment in Western North Carolina. So tactics for this group is having these in-person events. So the local event that we're getting ready to have is at Habitat Tavern and Commons. It's in a couple weeks. It's Sunday, July 15th. So if you do live in the area, you're welcome to join us. It's a free event from 3 to 5, and we'll be serving light refreshments. And beer and wine will be available for purchase, and you'll be able to meet the author and get a book signed. We'll also have this advertised in the Mountain Express, and we're keeping up with folks via social media as well. So I do want to mention that last semester I had the opportunity to work on these audience segments and have a pretty robust plan in advertising strategy, direct marketing strategy, collateral strategy, for public relations, for our social media, and for our website strategy, all segmented by the three groups that I was talking about. A couple of unique things that I wanted to mention in the publishing industry is for ebooks, we are competing for about $81 million in the science fiction and fantasy ebook sales category per year. Those numbers were as of 2017. And we're competing for about 155,000 daily sales in the indie self-published category. And I found those as of 2016. As far as this kind of unique customer-author-competitor relationship, customers heavily influence what is written in this genre, and it's important that fellow authors in this genre don't see each other completely as competition, because in writing, those competitors can be your allies. Because of the algorithms in Amazon or Audible or whatever sites you're using, based on what other people are reading, it might, with the right keywords, suggest in the same genre what you've written. So similar books in the same genre often sell together, or are suggested once someone finishes a book. Self-publishing authors also help support each other. So there's some closed groups on social media where folks are really swapping their sales and advertising tactics with one another. Another thing I wanted to mention is the buying power for the pricing and distribution of these books. Most authors in the genre sell their ebooks on Amazon for around $2.99 to $7.99, and well-established authors, bestsellers really, can fetch as much as $17.99. But A.D. White is priced competitively. The print-on-demand paperback book is $7.99. His Kindle ebook is $2.99. If you buy the paperback book, you can get a Kindle edition for a reduced price of 99 cents to have the additional copy. And signed paperback copies in person and at local events are the same as if you were to buy it online, so around $8. There are additional incentives for A.D. White for people who read all the way through, or at least get almost all the way through on those page reads through Amazon, because Amazon knows that for someone who finishes a book, they're more likely and statistically going to buy another book. So you get incentivized on page reads. And this is Amazon ebook units sold by price point, and I circled where A.D. White's book is, the $2.99 range. Even if he were to dip a little lower or or go up a little higher, he's still priced really competitively and then that sweet spot of the market. So that's our segmentation in a nutshell, and these are my resources. I wanted to point out the one towards the bottom in brown. The authorearnings.com was one of my best resources for this information, because you can find what Amazon's doing if you're an Amazon seller, but it doesn't aggregate everything else. So it was good to have that as an option. So thank you for listening today, and I hope this helps you understand the segmentation in the ebook, paperback, and local market.